Okay, welcome back to Painter and Decorator York from me, David, and this one is looking at the ways to avoid the painter and decorator scams or the unscrupulous ways in which they work sometimes. Now, I'll go over some of them, some real life cases that I've come across over the time, and you'll see why you need to be on your guard sometimes, not just with painter and decorators, but all trades. But a little bit about painting and decorating. Unfortunately, it's the trade that tends to attract the worst of society in some cases, but it's something that's viewed as a quick way to earn money with very little skill. And in all fairness, anybody can put some paint on a wall or a skirting or a window. It's not that difficult. Putting it on the right way and doing all the preparation is another thing. So this is one of the issues that professional painter and decorators have. Now around York there's actually some really good painter and decorators, don't get me wrong, there's some top notch. They've served the time, they've done the full apprenticeships, and I'm not knocking the ones that only do a week's training course. Don't get me wrong, they're not going to be up to speed, and everybody needs to earn a living, but as long as they do the job and learn the job and are fair with people, because it isn't I don't think it's a difficult trade to learn, and I think it's a good industry or a good side of the building trade to go into for anybody, because actually it's getting where there's fewer and fewer tradespeople about. But anyway, back to really avoiding these unscrupulous ones. And I've just mentioned they're the ones that have done the week-long course. Some haven't even done that. Some just think, right, how we can make some money, and they'll come along and tell you how wonderful they are. All they're bothered about is your money, nothing else. They don't have any pride in the work. And what they tend to do, this is one particular case I came across just outside York towards Malton. I was actually doing another job. I was actually painting a kitchen, because we have another side of the company that does hand painting, repainting of kitchens. We do it to a really high level and fantastic finish. But while I was there, the lady had a painter and decorator doing the outside of her house. So I'd gone well with the lady, and she says she had to go to work and all the rest of it. She said, yeah, that's fine. And it's unusual, when you're on site you normally get talking to other trades. Now this guy didn't want to know, he didn't want to get into any conversation. I thought, fine. As soon as the lady left for work, he sat in his van, had his first cuppa, went out, got some paint. He never did any. He made her get scaffolding. The scaffolding was fitted so doors couldn't open also, it was ridiculous. And he painted 3 windows, didn't rub down, didn't do anything, didn't even open them, got in his van an hour later and drove off. And that was the last I saw of him all day long. Next day, he did exactly the same. And then he turned round to the lady and said that we need to do some woodwork, it's all rotten, is this? And you take notice. I was watching, and okay, she says that's fine. So off she went again to work. He goes as soon as he's done the couple of windows, and this went on for about a week. He had a joiner friend, or he said a joiner friend. They come and got the cheapest ply and put it over a perfectly good fascia over a big porch. And painted it before the lady could see. I think this was like 3 or 4 mil ply that's not going to last 2 minutes. And she come back, she thought it looked wonderful. And it did on the face of it, but on the face of it, yeah. Anyway, she come to me after a few days and says, I got the price, I got a quote, the invoice from the guy. And this is the one I mentioned in the last video. He quoted initially £600 to paint the outside of the house. I says, 600? I said, that was ridiculous. It was a large. I says, there's no way it should have been 600. She said, well, no, it isn't, because he says he had to do these extras, and it's now 2,800 and something. I says, He hasn't. I says, he's not opened a window, he's not done anything. She says, well, what do I do? I says, report him, go to the consumer, consumer service to protect you. I says, it's wrong. Anyway, he'd come back and asked for his money, and he got quite angry with the guy. So with the lady, so I actually came in and I says, no, enough. You're going. He did leave, but he says he's coming back, and she was really frightened. And I says, this is the bad side of tradespeople. I would say to anybody, if anybody puts any type of pressure on you like that, or tries to, extract more than the job is worth and what they've told you they're going to charge, don't put up with it. You don't have to now. There's so many things that can protect you. We give a written quote, you see the quote, that's the price you pay. There's no argument about it. If we finish it in 1 week or a week and a half, we finish the job when the job is finished, not how quick can we do it with the, minimising the amount of work we have to do. The guy before, who I was just talking about, didn't undercoat, didn't do anything, he didn't prepare, nothing. It was shocking. I consequently went back to that job some months later. She didn't pay him. She took him to that. I knew where he was advertising. I contacted the magazine where he advertised, and they didn't want him. Thankfully, they're quite a respectable magazine. They took him out of there as well for advertising. It's not on, and this is what gives painter and decorators a bad name. So there's one less to worry about. Anyway, that's just one of the scams, and there's lots of things about people that thin down paint, buy the cheapest paint, don't rub down is probably the biggest thing that painter and decorators don't do. All right, to be fair, nowadays some of the paints don't actually need preparation, which is incredible, But if there's flaky and horrible paint, and you've got to make it reasonable before you apply the paint. So, when it comes to the inside of the house as well, you have to take, your painter or decorator should be taking care. Some of them, I wouldn't trust them in my house, but and another tip for you, if you want a tradesperson to do a really good job for you, then the first thing you should do is make them a cup of coffee and keep the coffee flowing. I tell you, the difference in attitude towards doing the job is huge. So I'll thank you for watching. I actually whittled on a bit long about that particular low life, but there you go. Keep watching out for more videos, and I've got some more interesting ones to help the DIYers how to do something and not get covered in paint, but do a fantastic job for yourself. Thanks for watching. From me, David, at Painter and Decorator York. See you soon. Bye now.